Welcome to another interesting class, food preservation and storage. Do you know that preserving food is a great way to avoid wasting food? Food is a part of our contact with life. Sit back and enjoy the class. Food preservation and storage. Why does it matter? Because food storage is good for your wallet. That is, it saves money. It saves your time and can even add flavor and nutritional value to your food. Let's get started. Types of food. We have two types of food, perishable foods and non-perishable food. Now, what is perishable food? Perishable food are such food like fruits, vegetables, fish, meat products, and they have a limited lifespan after harvest or production. So that is what we mean by perishable food, food that does not last for a long time. So when I give you an example, I said they are vegetables, fish, we have meat, all these products and fruits. Non-perishable food. Non-perishable foods are foods that cannot spoil easily. So you can see the difference between perishable and non-perishable food. So perishable food does not last for a long time, but non-perishable food can what? Can last for a long time. They are not easily spoiled. We have maize, beans, rice, dry fish, meat, and so on. The difference between the perishable and non-perishable is that perishable food are those that spoil the most quickly and require refrigeration. While non-perishable food are those that would take a very long time to spoil and does not require refrigeration. What is food preservation? Food preservation can be defined as the process of treating and handling food in such a way as to stop or greatly slow down storage or prevent foodborne illness while maintaining nutritional value, texture, and flavor. Or you can say food preservation is the process of treating food to prevent decay or decomposition. Properly preserved food do not spoil or go bad easily. What are the reasons for food preservation? That is, why do we preserve food? One, it prevents food wastage. Two, it helps to retain the taste, color, nutritional values of the food. Thirdly, it helps to make food available when it is out of season. And finally, it keeps food in the best condition. Advantages of food preservation. So we are going to look at the advantages and at the same time also the disadvantages of food preservation. Let's start with the advantages of food preservation. Food preservation has the following advantages. One, food preservation prevents the food from being spoiled by the action of microorganisms. That is the number one advantage. It prevents the food from being spoiled by the action of a microorganism that is present in that food. And secondly, food preservation increases the safe storage period of foodstuff. It increases the safe storage period of foodstuffs. Disadvantages of food preservation. One, dry food does not taste the same as fresh does. That is number one. That is the dry food, it does not taste the same way as the fresh does. Secondly, food preservation can cause food poisoning that can be fatal, especially in high risk food like meat when not properly done or monitor. Now get this point. They can cause food poison on the condition that they are not what? They are not properly done, or you don't monitor them. So especially food like milk. Common method of food preservation. We have different methods, but we are going to look at the common method of food preservation. A preserved food can be stored for a long period than a raw food. There are different methods of food preservation. The common methods include sorting, drying, canning, smoking, refrigeration, which we are going to take them one after the other. Sorting. Salty is when some quantity of salt is added to the food. For example, we have meat and fish. Salting is a method of preserving food that was more common before the modern refrigeration. Salting preserves food by drawing water out of the food, preventing bacteria growing and spoiling the food. The food is surrounded in salt and left in a cold, dry place. Salting is the commonest chemical used to preserve food. Salting destroys bacteria and helps food to dry easily. Smoking. Smoking is one of the oldest methods of preserving foodstuffs. Smoking is a method of drying that also imparts flavor to the food, usually a meat item. Smokes help keep bacteria carrying insects away during the drying process. Food is being exposed to fire and smoke, like we have smoke a fish or meat. Smoking involves spreading the fish or meat over the fire to be dry by hot smoke and heat of the fire. Drying or dehydrating. Now, when we are talking about drying, this is a process whereby the food is being exposed to heat and causes the water content to reduce. For example, we have maize, millet, beans, melon, pepper, onions, and so on. This can be done under the sun. Drying is a method of preservation that removes enough moisture from the food so that bacteria, yeast, and mold cannot grow. Canning. Canning, this is a process whereby the food is being processed under certain machine and kept in an airtight container. I repeat, is a process whereby the food is being processed under certain machine and kept in an airtight container. Canning is an important safe method of food preservation if practiced properly. For example, we have tin tomatoes, we have tin milk, we have sardine, we have geisha. All these are example of canning food. And canning must be observed under a strict hygienic condition. Duration. This is when the food is put in the refrigerator. This process makes the germs that spoil the food becomes inactive because of the refrigerator. Refrigeration is the most common food preserving method is to store food in the refrigerator. Food storage. Food storage is the process in which both cook and raw material are stored in appropriate conditions for future use without any entries or multiplication of microorganisms. Why is food storage important? Proper food storage helps to preserve the quality and the nutritional value of the foods you purchase. It helps to prevent sporage. And finally, food storage is important because it helps to prevent foodborne illness caused by harmful bacteria. What are the reasons for food storage? Reason for food storage. Food items are stored for various reasons. The reason includes to save money, to save time and energy of going to the market always, to prevent loss of nutrients, and to prevent spoilage. Let's look at a method of storing food. That is a food storage method. Good food storage method require the use of appropriate storage facility. The storage facility include cupboard, shelves for storage of cooking utensils, food in a tight cover plastic container, and so on. So for food storage, you need to have what? Proper storage facility. Methods of storing food. We can make use of our cupboard, shelves, and cabinets. Store household have some households have modern kitchen that are equipped with kitchen cupboard, cabinet shelves for storage of cooking utensils and food in tightly covered plastic container. The cupboard and the shelves and the cabinet are often made of painted wood. They may or may not be fixed to the kitchen wall. So the method is that you have a cupboard and a shelf. So you can see from the image there, you can use a plastic container, make use of a bottle that they are what? Tight. They have cover that they are very tight to store food. Next method is airtight container. This container can be made from plastic bottle or tins material. The lid must be airtight and fit well. So you can see the different plastic container that we have there. They covered properly. Different food items such as grains, that is the beans, maize, flour, yam, flour, rice, garri, as well as spice, that is pepper, salt, and so on, can be stored in this airtight container. Refrigerators and freezer is another food storage method. Uncooked food, fish, and so on can spoil easily and should be wrapped and kept in the freezer. So you can wrap them and keep them in the freezer. And the refrigerator and freezer are used to store perishable food. This is because the bacteria or the microorganisms which cause food storage are generally inactive under a very cold condition. Also, you can make use of bag. We can store our dry food like corn, beans, rice, garri, onions, pepper. We can store them in a bag, especially when they are what? They are plenty. Wow, another interesting lesson. Hope you learned a lot. Note that food are preserved to eliminate, that is to get rid or minimize food wastage caused by microorganisms and to keep the food from losing its nutritional values. Food are stored to save money when they are purchased in bulk. We can also store food to save time and energy of going to the market every day. The qualities and storage life of a food can be affected by the moisture content, temperature, types of food, packaging, and so on. Food preservation is inseparable from where the food is stored. Till next class, live healthy, eat healthy. Bye.